What is poppin', y'all? Caramel Rosay's in the building, outside, and we got Caramel Ciroc in the building as well.
Just kidding, it's Carandle.
Carandle on Instagram. So we decided to do a little meetup, okay? Because we got an important rant that we think is a necessary conversation to have right now, and we decided to focus on racism in Canada. So before we get started, I want you guys to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already, and we're gonna get right in to the video. So the reason why we kind of decided to do this topic is because Canada is very often painted as this golden country, this country that does not have racism. Oh my god, the slaves ran away for freedom in Canada. Oh my god, Canada is so diverse. Oh my god, like there's no way there could be racist there. There's no way that there could be racism there. Everyone's so nice, like all these things that come with Canada.
But I think what's important to remember is that the Americas are a product of colonialism, so by nature there's gonna be racism because they definitely took over this land from other natives.
Exactly. And even adding to that, Canada often gets confused with just being Toronto, and yes, Toronto is one of the most diverse cities in the world and it's absolutely beautiful for that, but there's actually still racism within Toronto being the most diverse in Canada. So if that happens in Toronto, the minute you leave Toronto, they're predominantly white areas. And for example, we both went to school. I went to school an hour and a half away.
I went 2 hours away.
2 hours away.
Both
so not
predominantly
far.
white institutions.
And there were predominantly white institutions, predominantly white areas. I was one of 5 black people in my 300 plus student program. That's ridiculous. So like I said, it's like in Toronto, I would say there's a big issue of covert racism. Actually, pretty much a lot in Canada, but more commonly in Toronto because it's such a diverse city, because it's so covered up, it's so quiet, it's like on a hush. Whereas when you look at, for example, America, it's very loud, it's very obvious, they don't even hide.
Very boisterous with their racism. So I think oftentimes Canada gets like kind of stuck in that echo chamber where it's like, oh well, because the States is so loud and boisterous with their racist issues, that's like, oh, like it doesn't exist here.
Yeah, Canada's not that. That happens so much. So many of our like political leaders slipped up and said, oh, like it's not that bad. And it's like, but you're saying it's not that bad
with your all-white caucus, so
it also means that it's still an issue. But you're saying just because in comparison it's not as obvious, it deserves a pat on the shoulder. Like that doesn't make sense to me. So what we're gonna do is we found a bunch of different definitions of different types of microaggressions. So we're kind of gonna walk through some of those and kind of give our take, our experiences, and our opinions in relation to here.
So the first one we found is alien in your own land. So it's the questions that you get. It's like, oh, where are you from? And then you tell someone Toronto, it's like, yeah, but where are you from?
Where do you really come from?
Yeah.
And I actually have like a stupid story. I work in a very diverse store, and this older white man came in, and it was a normal conversation. Like most interactions, especially in Toronto, are very normal. Like there's no hostility, there's no blatant racism, it's very casual. So completely normal interaction. And then I thought homeboy was gonna leave, like I thought we were done here. And then he's just like, oh, by the way, where are you from? And I was just like, oh, like I'm from here, I'm from Toronto. And he's just like, no, like where are you from? I'm like, no, I was born in Canada, I was born in Toronto, I was born here. And he's like, no, but like how about your parents? Where are your parents from? And I said, my parents are from the Caribbean, but I'm gonna just say it one more time, I'm from here, I was born here. And he's just like, man, I really just love learning about other people and where they come from, because Toronto has so many different people, and like it's just so cool to talk to people and see where they're from. Well, anyways, welcome to Canada. What do you mean welcome? I've been here. I just told you I've been here. So what are you talking about? I was literally born in the same land as you.
Also, let me just state that you're not even originally from here.
Like, if you want to bring up facts, you are not from here.
Where are your parents from? Not from here. I'm gonna tell you that.
Tell you that right now.
Yeah, so the second one we have is the ascription of intelligence. So saying that, you know, oh, you're so articulate for this, or you speak so well, or this is personally a problem that I suffer with. I had to split a lot of my time between predominantly white places, so I used to dance and compete. So the way I speak and articulate myself definitely is different to most of my friends. Well, if I'm like with my friends.
It's different to me, okay?
Yeah. If I'm with like my friends, like if I'm with Narissa, if I'm with Marcus, it's different. Like, you know, I could get comfortable, but for the most part, my mom has always been a fan of being able to articulate and speak properly.
Right.
Properly.
For lack of better
terms. So yeah, I used to get that problem all the time. Like, oh my god, you sound so white. Oh my god, you speak so properly. And that in itself is problematic, because to be articulate is now become inherently a white trait and not something that black people can ascribe to. Actually, I was friends with this person since, like, I think I knew him since I was like 7 or something like that. And he would say this to me in high school. He was like, yeah, like, oh my gosh, like, Claudine, like, let's not lie, I'm more black than you. And I'm like,
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
Pretty sure you're not. Like,
that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. And why is to be black to use slang? Like, yes, I do use slang. I do, you know, get gully. I talk hood, whatever that means.
But why is that the equivalent now? And why does that mean you're more black than me just because I pronounce my words better? Like,
all right. So the third one is colorblindness. So that's indicating like, oh my gosh, like I don't see color. Like everybody's one race, and that's the human race.
This man started mowing his lawn.
He's out to get us, I swear to God. He's like, oh, they're making a video about racism?
Let me put on my... Let me put on my lawnmower and they're talking about racism.
They're not gonna expose Canada!
Yo.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna talk over him anyways. So colorblind... Just joking. Colorblindness is actually something I didn't... Actually, that wasn't brought to my attention till I got to university. And I was like, yeah, like, because people make it so much of a combo to be like, yeah, you should not see color, everyone's equal, whatever, whatever. And when I got to university, I realized that there's so much harm in saying that statement. And it was actually one of my white professors. I will give her this. This is the only professor I found with value.
Come on, bro.
Again, I was the only black person in that class. She literally said to this group of white people, it is counterproductive for you guys to be colorblind, because the reality is there are so many different intersections that people have. There is no way that you can say, I do not see color, I do not see that that's a person of color, because you have different privileges in comparison to that person. You have different privileges being white. So to say that you don't see color is a complete disadvantage, because we do not have the same opportunity. It's completely
diminishing and erasing someone else's experience as a colored person.
Exactly.
Okay, the next one is criminality, or the assumption of criminality. So that's the nice smooth microaggression of the lady grabbing her purse a little tighter, or like locking her car doors as soon as you walk by. Yeah.
I particularly don't see that I've had this experience as a black woman, but my black male friends, my black brothers
definitely have had this
issue.
Or I could say in the sense that I've had this issue in terms of when you're shopping and like they start following you around, but I don't know if that's more of an issue of color or more of an issue that I look like I'm young.
Yeah.
You know, young.
That's hard to differentiate.
Be stealing.
Yeah,
so.
young people would just be stealing. I remember even at our high school, they would have a limit to the amount of people in the convenience store. And again, like, we kind of went to a predominantly colored school.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was a color thing, or again, if it was a high school, like, we're a bunch of dumb kids, like, you know. But yeah, so I feel like that's more of a black male issue here, if more than anything.
Yeah.
But not to say it doesn't happen to other people of color experiences as well, but that's not the conversation right now, so I'm not gonna make it that.
The next one is denial of individual racism. So that's your classic, I'm not racist, I have black friends. I'm not racist, my nephew twice removed from the family on my second cousin's side is black.
I hate this statement.
I hate it so much.
So many people have been using this within the last month. Cut it out.
Stop it.
Stop it, bro. I don't care if you have a black friend or not. There are people that have no black friends and are more woke than you. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I do not care if you have black friends or not. That does nothing for me. Absolutely nothing for me. I don't know if this will overlap with a different definition, but I feel like a lot of people here, they're so cool with people of color, they're so cool with black people because, again, we're such a diverse city. So they're friends with us, they love laughing with us, they love dancing, whatever it is, they like being around. they don't see an issue. They're like, yeah, they're my friend, I work with them, they're this, they're that. But when it comes to these issues, when it comes to this topic, when it comes to these microaggressions,
they have yet to pull up.
They have yet to pull up. They have yet to say anything, and they're actually probably one of the biggest victims of using these microaggressions, because they are convinced that they're not racist because they have black friends.
And even within, like, I have friends that I think before I really understood this microaggression, I would not have said that they were racist. They were my friend.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll ask me nonsense like, oh my gosh, so like, how do you wash your hair?
The same
how do
way
you wash
do?
your hair?
What are you talking
with shampoo
about?
and conditioner. What do you wash yours with? Bacon grease? Okay, the next one is the myth of merit. So saying that you can access and get what you want out of society as long as you work hard. You just need to work really hard, and you can get the American dream, or the North American dream in our case.
Basically, you could work hard, just work hard, and you'll win.
Succeed.
You'll succeed. And again, just very counterproductive for you to think that we have the same starting line. We don't. There's a huge gap between having inherited wealth, what's the word? Generational wealth, different head starts, different things that didn't hold you or your generations back before. So to say, yeah, me and Tom over here, if I work as hard as him, I do the same program, I do everything the same way he does, odds are he's probably gonna get the job unless it's an affirmative action call. So,
or even if we do achieve the same level of success as some of our counterparts, it's not to say that we didn't have to work 10 times as hard, like work 4 or 5 jobs to even attain what was maybe even gifted to them or inherited.
Right. I actually seen a post. It was a black woman. She went to buy her house, and the person, her realtor or whatever, was like, oh, like, your parents didn't like give you a $50,000 gift. Like most times people get gifted this when they're buying their home. And that woman was like, I've never heard of that in my life. Like, that just speaks to, one, your clientele and your closed-mindedness, but that's really their reality sometimes. And also, just adding to this conversation too, a lot of people say, yeah, there should be equality. I personally, particularly, do not want equality. I don't think equality is effective. I think equity is more effective in the scope that we live in today, because I don't need to be standing at the same spot as the person beside me.
I'm already disadvantaged.
I'm already at a disadvantage. I'm already 100 yards behind.
I need more tools to help me even get to the point that they're at.
And we're not saying it's a handout, and I spit super bars in grade 11 with this speech. But it's not saying that we want a handout or we want to be placed at the top. We simply just want the same access, the same like option in a sense, because we don't have it. We are far behind. We don't start at the same place. So it's just having equal access to the same jobs.
That you're gonna say, oh well, yeah, we're gonna hire our 10% of our clientele is gonna be minorities. Okay, so how are you gonna get me to that point where I'm even applicable for the job?
Yeah. What is it? Please let me know.
If
I need a stool, let me know, because clearly
I got one right there.
Yeah. Clearly we're under.
Our second last one is pathologizing cultural values. So that's like asking black people why they're so loud, why you're so aggressive, why are you so intimidating.
Okay, I'm not even gonna front. There is definitely some truth to this, because I know that I'm intimidating. I know that I come off a certain way when someone first meets me. I know that about myself. Do I do it on purpose sometimes? Maybe, because am I ever going to be taken seriously if I come goofy or if I come with a happy-go-lucky? No, I need to be taken seriously, so I'm going to come to you hella serious.
And I will tell you from a lot of personal things that have happened, you try to come, you know, at your best to make other people comfortable in how you're going into situations, and honestly sometimes you have to be aggressive and turn up to get results, because that's when you get the results.
That's when you get it, because am I going to be taken seriously otherwise?
And our last one is the second-class citizen. So to put it simply, that's just the assumption that someone who is a minority is a service worker for you. So getting asked or making the assumption that someone is like the maid or like a worker at a retail store when you're clearly not even wearing the same color as the uniform.
Bro, just last week I was in Home Depot and a man came up to me saying, you work here, right? Fam, their uniform's orange. I don't own orange clothes. Holy.
That's definitely happened to me, where I've been shopping for myself personally, like, I don't know why a worker would be holding up size 4 jeans to themselves. Like, I've never seen a retail worker do that in my life.
No.
But to each his own.
To each his own. Yeah, that was kind of like a list of some of the covert racism or microaggressions that we found.
Yeah.
Not to say that in this country that there isn't like police aggression, that there isn't systemic racism. There is a crazy level of systemic racism here.
There's definitely overt racism in other parts of Canada. I don't know how much so in Toronto. None that I've encountered, or none that I've known anybody personally encounter. Definitely when you go outside of Toronto or go outside of Ontario even.
We have a lot of stories for when we're in school or when we like go on a road trip outside of the city where it is very covert racism. They don't care, like they don't care.
Yeah.
But at least in Toronto, I feel like they can't overstep because odds are there's a bunch of other colored people that won't let it slide. So it has to be low-key. But there is police aggression. It happens here, but it's not as loud. Just recently there's been a story on a woman dying while in only presence of the police, and it's like, what, where's the investigation, where's the follow-up, where's the care in a sense?
Right.
So it does happen, it's just a lot more quiet, and again, systemically it is a huge issue.
And I don't even want people to think that this is just a North America problem. This is a worldwide
problem.
issue.
I travel quite a bit, Claudia travels quite a bit. I always need to research where I'm going in regard to how they are with black people.
What was their history?
What's their history? How do they look at it? And even if it's fine, odds are I'm probably still gonna experience it. A lot of times I cover myself up. I wear my hair in like tighter buns. Like I try not to attract attention because if it's not a multicultural area, I know that I'm probably going to be walking into a certain type of perception. So it is definitely a worldwide issue. So I'm very happy to see that the world is talking about it right now.
Because these are literally our everyday conversations.
These are literal everyday conversations because it's our reality. It's something that we face. It's what we see our brothers and sisters facing throughout the world. It's a reality, and it's kind of crazy to me that a lot of people haven't noticed this or didn't know this.
Or have been willfully ignorant
towards it. Like, come on, like, do better than that. We live in a day and age where resources are at the tips of your fingers. You can find whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. There's no reason to be ignorant right now. Like, if you choose to be uneducated on this topic, you just don't care.
Yeah. And the reality is how to approach microaggressions, or how, if you are someone that has been engaging in these microaggressions unknowingly, honestly, it's a learning process. So you just have to continuously check yourself and be able to reevaluate yourself, right, and acknowledge where.
It's a big, unlearning is not an easy thing at all. Absolutely not. But you need to be able to differentiate yourself and be like, yo, am I a part of this problem? My coworker brought up an issue where there was a microaggression, and she shared the story, and one of our white colleagues actually messaged her saying, yo, was I the person involved? Because I actually don't know if I was, and I wasn't aware if I was. If I was a part of it, I need to like hold myself accountable pretty much. And it's like stuff like that. And I guess black people have to play a part too. We need to stop just letting us be uncomfortable so other people will be comfortable.
We can't shrink ourselves down to fit into spaces anymore. Like, that's not the move anymore.
No, like if someone is saying something, if someone's overstepping, if someone is being discriminatory in whatever sense, I feel like it's time for us to just say something about it and not just take it.
And chances are, not all the time, but a lot of the times they probably wouldn't even know that they were.
And I would say for particularly Toronto, again, places that are multicultural, that is very much the case. Just don't realize because they are around people of color all day, every day. Like, you go anywhere in Toronto, maybe aside from downtown sometimes, but you go anywhere in Toronto, you'll see like 5 different types of people.
Facts.
By walking in within 5 seconds. So it's just something that they may not have been aware of, and I feel like it's important for it, especially in places like this, that we hold people accountable when we do face these experiences.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's that on that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hit that thumbs up. Please share. I think this is an important conversation to have. Share this video with your friends. Have this conversation with your friends. maybe you don't realize you're low-key a part of the problem. I don't want to sound that way, but you could probably be a part of the problem.
That's okay, we're learning.
We're
2020
all
is the
learning.
year of learning.
Yeah, and with that being said, I'm going to leave a link in my description box below on ways that you can contribute to the Black Lives Matter movement, whether it be through donating, signing petitions, or even just educating yourself, learning something new. I'm going to leave that in my link below. I'm going to ask you guys to click that, because if you support me, you should support that, period. There's no different line there. That's click that link. And yeah, that's really it. So I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Peace.